and on clearance stuff because that's already a low price. So if you want to get it, remember, get the app. Remember the word sunshine. All right. Let's talk about pests for a minute. So I've lived all over. I lived in Connecticut, ran restaurants for years and years and years. Number one problem, cockroaches, all right? I can remember walking across the wall out of lunch, right in the middle of lunch with a towel in my hand and grabbing one off the wall. Nuisance. We were right next to a movie theater, popcorn everywhere, so they were everywhere. Then I lived in the Southwest, and you get a lot of spiders in the Southwest, all right? Awful. Now I live in Florida, and you get what we call palmetto bugs, which is a nice word for cockroach. We get those, we get ants, we get roaches, we get rats and mice because we have citrus here. We get all that. What if I told you there was a way, without having to spray, without having to put anything on, without having to set any traps, there was a way to get rid of all those. And I'm not talking about chopping their heads off or cutting them in half with a wire in a trap. I'm talking about a way that uses science without chemicals. It's called ultrasonic technology. And what it does, you plug these in and they send out a wave that both insects, ants, roaches, rats, mice, all kinds of bugs, critters they can't even stand it. It would be like a blowhorn in our ear. So what they do is they scatter and get out of your house. We're gonna give you 12 of these. I have been doing this for years. I have had these in my house. You go to my house right now, there's 8 of them in my house. I have 2 in the garage. I have them everywhere, okay, or in my shed. They work like magic. And I will tell you, the only time I've ever seen a cockroach, ever, is when it's running out of a door or trying to get out of the house. And I always tell people, and Lou knows this, when you install these, because a lot of people are like, oh, I put it in and I saw a bug right away. Yeah, you know why? He's trying to get out of your house. You give this 2 to 3 days, give it the 30 days, and I am telling you it'll make a huge difference. And it works when you're home. It works when you're away. If you go on vacation, a lot of us go on vacation. This happened in Arizona. You come home, spiders all over my floor. Where'd they all? Because they're afraid of people. But if I had had the pest repellers, they would have scattered out of the house. And once you get them out, they don't want to come back in. We are giving you 12 of the wall units. All you do is plug them in. Don't put them behind a freezer or behind a couch. That wave has to be open to get out. So you want to put them in a plug where they'll get out. I have one on one side of my bedroom and one on the other because I've been bitten by a spider before in Arizona, and it is no fun. And you see spiders up there in the corner. You put this on, they're going to leave. All right, you get 12 of them. I've never seen a price like this. They're normally $59. We're doing $39. And Lou, we've never done this 12-pack as far as I've been here.
Ever. $3.33 a unit. Now, I want to think about that for a second. What do you pay for a can of bug spray? What do you pay for a mouse trap? What do you pay to have the guy walk around your house and spray for the pest control, right? $3.33 for something that's going to last for years and years and years. People always ask me, how long do these last? The answer, mine have been around for over a decade.
I had mine for 6 years.
For 6 years.
Yeah.
They just keep going, okay? Now, what are they? Essentially, they're like tiny little speakers, okay? They put out a sound, and it's an ultrasonic sound at a frequency higher than human beings can hear. I won't hear it, you won't hear it, your kids won't hear it.
Your dogs won't hear it.
Your dogs, your cats, they're not gonna know anything about it. However, rats, mice, ants, roaches, spiders, they hear it and they wanna run away, they wanna scatter. If you've ever walked into your house and couldn't remember what your alarm code was or put it in the wrong way, and then your burglar alarm goes off in the house, you know, you wanna get out. Like, you can last a few seconds, but you gotta get out of there. Well, that's the same effect that these are having on the pests when they get into your home. Plugs into any outlet. Now, why is it important to have one in every single room? Why is it such a big deal to get 12? Because A, you do need one in every room, but why? Because as Guy mentioned, you don't want to put it behind anything because the sound echoes off of solid objects. So walls, doors. That way the sound's not going to go from room to room. But if you've got one in every single room, you've got whole house coverage. And what you're getting today with 12 is enough to do 2 stories of the average size house, plus the attic, the basement, and Guy, that garage, which is very important.
Let me tell you, I have more in the bedroom than anywhere else, only because I'm like, listen.
Well, you're the spider magnet.
I was in Arizona, and Arizona is known for its spiders and you know, all kinds of other creepy crawlies. And I actually had one bite me in the foot at a hotel.
Right.
And I was like, it was a really nice hotel.
Do you know what kind it was?
It wasn't, I had to grab it. I swatted it. I had to bring it down to the medic guy. And luckily somebody was there at midnight.
They could identify it.
And he looked at it and he said, no, this one won't kill you. And I was like, well, thank you. I was in a hotel going cross country with my dog, and I had a centipede crawl across my forehead while I was sleeping. Those are the kinds of insects that come out at night.
Yep.
I sleep better knowing that, and I have in my house now, I have one on one side of the bed and one on the other side of the bed, because I don't really use those.
Covered.
I don't use those outlets for anything else.
Yep.
I have one has this, and it also has my air purifier. But I know I'm covered on both sides.
Yeah.
I have not seen a bug in my house in months and months
Me
and
either.
months. And the only time you ever see one is when one either gets in,
Yeah.
and then I see it, and let me tell you, bugs usually don't see them. They're trying to escape.
It's disorienting to them, actually.
It's their survival
that's
instinct.
well, it is. And you know, here's the thing, too. People out there have this mindset that, like, if I get pests, I have to kill them to get them out of my house.
Good luck
You know
with
what I mean?
that.
Yeah, good luck with that. So what do? You go out and you buy stuff for your ants. Maybe you got a big ant problem, right? And you go out and buy crystals and traps and all the things that you buy for ants. But you got to constantly be putting this stuff out. It wears off, and then when you run out, you got to buy more. What about if you got a roach problem? Can't use the ant stuff. Guess what? We're going with the roach stuff, okay? So now you got to buy all the sprays and stuff for the roaches, and you might get that under control for a little while, but again, you got to keep reapplying this stuff, and then that's going to run out. And then, Guy, when it comes to the rats and the mice, if you got that problem, we get truly medieval at that point. We've got the traps right here that are really hard to bait, and nobody wants to ever clear these out when something's in there. You got the poisons down here. These green things, they look just like my dog's favorite chew toys.
Yeah.
I don't want these around my, my dogs. If you got kids, you don't want those either. And here's the thing: rats and mice, when they die, they don't just come out in the middle of the living room and put their legs up in the air and lay on their back. No, they go into your ceiling, they go into your attic, your walls. I mean, they go somewhere else to die, and then you get this odor that is there forever. If you get our pest repellers right now, get the set of 12, plug this in, it does everything that these do, plus it does spiders.
Yeah.
There's nothing here for spiders because they're impossible to get rid of.
There's no spider repellent that you can buy.
There is definitely not spider repellent.
Here is the deal, all right? These work around the clock.
They do.
They are like having a pest person in your house living there, constantly on the job. But I agree with Lou. The first of all, the rat poison food.
Yeah.
It looks like a dog treat.
It really does. No,
It looks
it's
like
exactly
those green
same
dog
color and
treats.
everything.
You don't want to put that out there. And again, you're not solving the problem. You're just delaying it. All right. I had rats in the attic of my house many, many years ago when I first got there. The only reason I knew that, my neighbor came up to me because he would come check on my house, and he goes, "Hey, the house looks good." He goes, "But unfortunately, it doesn't smell very good." My pest repelling company, who I no longer pay.
Yeah.
I don't pay any bills.
Isn't that great?
They installed traps up there because they said, I think we saw a rat or two, so we're going to install some traps.
Yeah.
So, of course, the rat ate the cheese or whatever, and it died up there. I was gone for a week. My house smelled like dead animal
smell.
for 2 weeks. So now, I actually, believe it or not, the guy that does my AC put an air handler up there. I gave him one of these. He plugged it in up in the attic.
Oh, yeah, no, use them in the attic.
But I had to spend thousands because they were living up in the attic.
You
and
have
they
pack
had
rats,
to clean
didn't
it.
you?
Yeah. They had to clean all the mess
They're crazy,
that
those
they
things.
left up there. If I had used it, and remember, I'm never going to get rid of all the rats.
No.
You got to get rid of the cockroaches. They're as old as the dinosaurs. You're never going to get rid of them, and they're vital.
Impossible.
They're vital for animals outdoors.
Yeah.
I just don't want them in my house.
Right.
So if you install these, and here I always tell Lou, and we talk about this, the 30-day money back.
Yeah. You'll see a difference.
Try them for a month. And remember, in the first 3 to 4 days, if you see bugs, they're trying to get out. That's normal. Hopefully you won't. Maybe you don't have a lot. But let me tell you, one cockroach in my bedroom, and I'm not sleeping the whole night.
Nope, I know that feeling.
One spider.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping.
No, you can't. You can't because you know that they're there. With this, you're going to have peace of mind. Now, for those of you at home that are the doubting Thomases and doubting Teresas, and I don't blame you because I'm with you, all right? If you told me like, oh, Gad, this works, you can't hear it though, and the only way you know it's working is there's a little red light that flashes. I'm going to show you something that'll give you proof positive, okay? This is an ultrasonic leak detector. It says it right on there. They use this to detect leaks in gas lines because when a gas line leaks, it's under so much pressure, it comes out and it makes an ultrasonic sound. So there's a microphone right up here in the end. It's listening for the ultrasonic sound wave. Every time you see the little red light flash on the pest repeller, you're going to see a little red ball right here
that's awesome.
Bouncing back and forth. So that's telling you that, yes, this is emitting an ultrasonic sound. The thing is, Guy and I are here talking. We can't hear it.
No.
We never know. And you notice that it's not moving when I'm talking. It's only when the pest repeller puts out that sound wave and it emits that.
And by the way, double duty, if somebody peeks in your windows, they think those are
It looks like an alarm.
Like an alarm system.
Yeah, it looks like a burglar.
And I love that. I'm always like, you know what? If you look in my house, you see these little lights blinking at night. I'm
Yep.
like, that's fantastic.
Yep.
So you get all that. So listen, you got to try it. I know you're like, well, I've never heard of it before. You need to try it. I was a disbeliever. Lou gave me 4 of them, and he said, you try these.
Yep.
Because I detest bugs. I get that they live on our planet. I'm all about it. It's all good. Everything, it's a big circle. I get all that. But I don't want them to live in my house. I don't crawl into a spider's web. I don't go into an anthill and stick my arm down there. I don't bother them. So why are you coming into my world? Well, because it's warm, it's cozy, there's food, there's protection. Yeah, but that's all meant for you. You get a 30-day trial with this, and I am telling you, and you'll say, well, I don't need 12. Everybody says that. Let me just tell you, even a 2 or 3 or 4 bedroom house is gonna need 12, because I put 2 in the kitchen, 2 in the bedroom. I have an outdoor workout room. I have 2 in there. I like to put them on either side of the room.
Why not? Get the coverage, you know what I mean? And here's the thing, guys. If you live in a high-rise building, don't think you're immune, okay? You got people living above you, below you, on either side. Put these in your place. Use them to create a force field so that you can control your space. You can't control everybody's. Send the pests somewhere else, to Julie Truster's house, anywhere else.
Let me tell you something, and this is in easily all-time purchases, top 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too.
You know, I have a lot in the garden, but these...
I have my office, I have my house,
you know what's
my
great?
warehouse.
When you come home from a trip, they're working.
Yeah.
That's really the key to keeping bugs out of your